Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In my previous video, I have covered what is AWS S3 and how we can create buckets and how we can use AWS S3 in Angular application. And I have created an Angular application that is like a file manager. So this is that application that I have created in my previous video. So here we have a list of folders and files from our S3 bucket. And when we click on a folder name, then it will navigate to a particular folder and it will show its inner folders and files. And when we click on this back button, then it will go back to our previous folder. And we can view the file by clicking on it. And we can create new folders inside our bucket. Suppose we want to create a new folder test. So you can see it is listed again here. And we can upload files in a particular folder of S3 bucket from here. Suppose we have this file and we will upload it. Yeah, it's uploaded. So if you want to understand how I created this application and how we can use AWS S3 in Angular, then please watch my previous video and you will find the links in description for the same. So in today's video, we will deploy this Angular application in AWS S3. We can use AWS S3 to host a static website, and on a static website there can be individual web pages or static content, and they might also contain client-side scripts and applications that are developed in React.js, Vue.js and Angular can be hosted to AWS S3. And dynamic websites relies on server-side processing and includes server-side scripts such as PHP, JSP or ASP.NET. So AWS S3 does not support server-side scripting. So let's start how we can host Angular application on AWS S3. So first we will create a build for production environment for this application. So by using this command ng build configuration production, we will create a production build. Now our build is ready, and to host this application we need to create a S3 bucket, and we will set public access for this bucket and we need to configure it for static website hosting. So let's do that. We will go to AWS S3 and there we will create a bucket. And we will name it like drive management hosting. And we will keep all the things here default. And we will go to this bucket again. And here we will set its permissions, because to host a website on AWS S3 we need to allow this bucket to publicly available. Yeah, so from here we will disable this option and it will be available for public access. After enabling public access, we need to provide a bucket policy. For bucket policy, we need to go here. I have already this JSON copied. So here we need to do some things like what is the version of this config and what actions we need to allow and what is our resource. So we will just save changes. Now we will configure this bucket to host a static website. So in properties at the end there is an option static website hosting. So we will go here and we will enable it. So after enabling it, it is asking for an index document. So it means what is entry point for that application. So in Angular it will create an index.html page that will be entry point for our application. And we can also provide an error document. So whenever any error comes, then that page will be visible. We can also set some redirection rules here, but for now we don't have any rules, so we will keep it default. And we will just save changes. Now we will upload our build files here. Add files. So this is that folder in which are disk files created. Yeah, now our files are uploaded, and how we will access our website. So when we configure a bucket as a static website, then AWS generates a URL for that bucket. So we will use this URL to access our website. And if you have a registered domain, you can add a DNS CNAME entry to point to the AWS S3 website endpoint. So you can see here our application is hosted here, and this is the URL, and we can just use our application here. And we can also enable AWS S3 server access logging for a bucket that is configured as a static website. So server access logging provides detailed records for the requests that are made to our bucket. Means we can store logs for all our HTTP requests. So to store that logs, we will create one more bucket. We will go to this buckets, and here we will create a new bucket. Drive management logs. All the fields are default. And now we will go to our hosting bucket, and there in properties there is an option server access logging, so we will enable it. When we click on enable, so it will ask for a bucket name in which bucket we need to store our logs. So we will just select this bucket that we created, and we will just save changes. So now let's see if logs are generating or not. As of now there is no log, so let's refresh our app. Actually, logs will be visible in this logs bucket with some delay. Yeah, so now logs are visible here. So we can see in which format it is storing. So you can see it is storing our logs, like what was the method and what files was served. And in second log, let's see. So here as well, it is storing our what was the method and what was the request. So this is how we can host a static website on AWS S3, and I hope this video was helpful in understanding AWS S3 uses. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below. And thank you for watching this video, and I will cover some more interesting topics in my upcoming videos, so please subscribe the channel.